Abena sat on the edge of her bunk bed in her modest dormitory at Ayirebi Girls High School, her eyes drawn to the window. Outside, she saw the arrival of 3 sleek, luxurious SUVs pulling up to the school gates. She watched, almost mesmerized, as 3 girls stepped out, their designer handbags swinging casually by their sides. Each of them was escorted by a chauffeur, who held the car doors open with a practiced elegance. Before driving off, the men warmly embraced the girls, whispering something into their ears, and planting kisses on their foreheads. The scene was like something out of a movie. These 3 girls were the talk of the school, the glamorous queens of Ayirebi, Serwa, Akoshwa, and Ajojo. The queens were the epitome of sophistication and style. Their flawless skin, long braided hair extensions, and customized school uniforms, tailored to hug their figures perfectly, set them apart from everyone else. They carried themselves with an air of superiority, making it clear to everyone that they were untouchable. No one dared question their extravagant lifestyle. Rumors swirled around them like a whirlwind. Some said their families were royalty, others believed their parents were rich politicians or business tycoons. Whatever the truth was, the queens thrived on the mystery. That evening, as the hostel grew quiet, Abena and her best friend, Isi, noticed the queens sneaking out of the compound. They moved with a confident stealth, their steps light and deliberate as they climbed over the back fence of the school. Dressed in casual yet expensive outfits, they giggled softly as they disappeared into the night. This wasn't the first time Abena had witnessed their midnight escapades. She often wondered where they went and how they always managed to return undetected by the school authorities. Abena had come to Ayirebi Girls High School on a full scholarship. Her parents were subsistence farmers in a small village near Koforidua. They had toiled tirelessly to support her education, and her academic excellence had earned her a place at Ayirebi, one of the most prestigious boarding schools in the country. Her friend, Isi, was in a similar situation. Both girls were from humble backgrounds and relied on their intelligence and hard work to keep up with the rigorous standards of the school. Unlike their wealthier classmates, who could afford the latest gadgets and trendy hairstyles, Abena and Isi made do with the little they had. They styled each other's hair in simple cornrows and shared the few provisions their families could afford to send. Saturday mornings at Ayirebi were reserved for grooming, and the school salon was always bustling with activity. But there was an unspoken rule: the queens went first. Serwa, Akoshwa, and Ajojo would arrive at the salon with their entourage of hairdressers, who catered to their every whim. The rest of the students waited patiently for their turn, sometimes for hours. For Abena and Isi, the salon was a luxury they couldn't afford, so they stayed behind in the dormitory, braiding each other's hair with simple extensions they bought from the local market. One afternoon, as Abena and Isi walked past the Queen's Corner in the hostel, Abena accidentally bumped into a table, spilling a smoothie onto Akoshwa's designer bag. The room fell silent. Akoshwa's eyes blazed with anger as she sprang to her feet. "Do you have any idea how much this bag costs?" she hissed. "It's imported. That smoothie alone is worth more than your monthly allowance." Abena's face flushed with embarrassment. She stammered an apology, her hands trembling as she tried to wipe the mess with her handkerchief. The queens burst into laughter. "Look at her," Serwa said, smirking. "Trying to clean with that rag. Just leave it, village girl." From that day, Abena became the target of the queen's mockery. They called her farmer and local girl, mocking her plain clothes and simple lifestyle. Issy tried to comfort her, but the humiliation lingered. Then one day, something unexpected happened. A JoJo approached Abena after class with an unusually friendly smile. "You're always studying," she said, her tone almost playful. "Don't you ever want to have fun? Life isn't all about books, you know. Why don't you join us this weekend? We'll show you what it means to be a true Ayirebi girl." Abena hesitated. She'd heard the rumors about the Queen's secret outings. "But how do you even leave the school? Won't we get caught?" she asked. A JoJo laughed, flipping her braided hair over her shoulder. "Caught? Do you know who we are? My father is a member of parliament, Sirwa's mother owns a chain of boutiques in Accra, and Akoswa's uncle is a prominent businessman. The security guards wouldn't dare stop us." Against her better judgment, Abena agreed to join them. That Saturday, the Queen smuggled her out of the hostel under the cover of darkness. They climbed over the fence and waited by the roadside until a sleek black SUV pulled up. The driver, a young man in his late 20s, greeted them warmly. "Ladies," he said, opening the doors. Abena climbed in nervously, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. The car drove into the affluent neighborhood of East Legon, stopping in front of a grand mansion. The house was breathtaking, with towering pillars, a sparkling swimming pool, and a garden filled with exotic flowers. Inside, the Queens introduced Abena to their friends, a group of young men who exuded wealth and confidence. One of them, a tall, handsome man named Kwaku, took an immediate interest in Abena. "You're beautiful," he said, handing her a drink. "You should smile more." Abena blushed, her head spinning. The Queens cheered her on, encouraging her to relax and enjoy herself. For the first time, she felt like she belonged. Kwaku showered her with compliments, bought her expensive gifts, and sent her mobile money. Abena was swept up in the whirlwind of luxury, forgetting the warnings her parents had given her before she left for Ayirebi. But the glittering facade soon began to crumble. Abena started skipping classes, her grades plummeted, and her once bright future seemed to dim. Then came the shock: her period was late. Panicked, she confided in the Queens, who dismissed her fears. "It happens," Sirwa said casually. "Just take these pills and you'll be fine." Abena followed their advice, but the pregnancy didn't terminate. Desperate, she went to Kwaku for help, only to discover that he had been lying about his wealth. He was merely a driver for the mansion's owner, a wealthy businesswoman. "You're not the first," the woman told Abena coldly. "And you won't be the last." Heartbroken and alone, Abena turned to a quack doctor for an abortion. The procedure was botched, and she began bleeding heavily. By the time she was rushed to the hospital, it was too late. Abena's life was cut short, leaving her family and the school community devastated. During a somber assembly, the headmistress addressed the students. "Let Abena's story be a lesson to us all," she said, her voice heavy with emotion. "Focus on your education. Remember, the choices you make today will shape your future. Stay true to your values, and don't let temporary pleasures derail your dreams." Abena's tragic story echoed through the halls of Ayirebi Girls High, a haunting reminder of the consequences of poor choices and misplaced trust.